City Hospital was busy. Rico's mother, Lena, spent most of her shift tending to the elderly patients on her ward. Lena had worked on this ward for 2 years, and she had also worked on the children's ward, the emergency ward, and the maternity ward in her time, so she was very experienced. City Hospital was on Dudley Road, so some of the hospital staff could hear the riots as they were happening on the streets. Lena was asked to go and help in the emergency department. She had the experience and they were desperate. She arrived to find nurses and doctors rushing around, frantically trying to keep up with all the casualties coming in. The accident and emergency ward was always busy, but tonight was like no other. Along with the DIY casualties and the drink and drug abusers, there were those who had been touched by the riots. Most of these casualties were people who had fallen or been pushed over as the crowds took to the streets. Some were victims of robberies and others were shopkeepers who had tried to defend their businesses. Lena was thanked for working her many extra hours and told that she was free to go. She went to the hospital car park, got into her old, battered car and drove home. As soon as Lena entered her house, Rico came down from his room to see her, and as soon as she saw him, she called him over. "Come here and give me a hug," she said, her arms out wide. As they were hugging, Stefan came into the living room and launched into the story of Rico's latest arrest. Lena wasn't surprised. He had already been stopped many times that year. But she was relieved to know that he had been released and not injured in the riots. Lena listened, and when Stefan had told his story, she began hers. "Well, what about my day at the office? There I was, happily tending to my little old ladies, when suddenly I'm asked to go to A&E to deal with a great big policeman who tells me that some kids beat him up. And then I have to deal with a 15-year-old boy who tells me that he had been kicked and beaten with a truncheon by a policeman. I used to work in the NHS, now I work in a war zone. And last week they told us that we have a pay freeze for another year. They keep giving us more targets to reach with fewer staff and less money." Rico saw how tired and frustrated his mum looked. She threw her bag down on the sofa. "I guess you expect me to make dinner now?" "No way," said Stefan. "I've been slaving in that kitchen for the last hour preparing something just for you. And you," he said to Rico. "Now, let me guess," said Lena. "Pasta?" "How did you know?" asked Stefan. "Well, every time you cook up a surprise, it's pasta," said Lena. "Don't you get it? That means it's not a surprise anymore." "It's pasta," said Stefan, grinning. "But not as you know it. It's pasta with a twist." "Oh yes? What's the twist?" "Salad," replied Stefan, throwing his hands up as if completing a magic trick. "It will do. Again," said Lena. Her face was tired, but she was smiling. "Maybe I'll just go for the salad," said Rico. "The last time I had your pasta, it stayed around for days." "You said you liked it," said Stefan. "I was just trying to encourage you," replied Rico. "I realise now it was a mistake." Stefan stamped his foot down as if to chase Rico, but he was laughing. "Get out of here!" Rico ran upstairs to check on his computer work, and Lena went to change her clothes. Rico's software had downloaded, but his mother's words were still running around his head, so he left